Very good afternoon to you on this 15th day of national lockdown, Good Friday, and with the extension, 20 days to go. My name is Mark Long. I'm the rector of St Andrew's Church in Newlands, Cape Town. Today is Good Friday, a day in which I think many of us are very used to drawing aside, taking time to come to church, taking time to spend in vigil before the cross, to reflect on something of the nature of the faith that we walk together in relation to the brokenness of our lives and our society. Today with lockdown, a little different doing that in isolation, a little different in discovering new ways of sharing in communication, both in terms of just relating to one another, but also in how we share the gospel. The joy of Good Friday, and there is a joy to it, is that we are faced with the realities of life and death. We're faced with the struggles that the struggle of the journey Jesus walked from his arrest through to his death on the cross. It's challenging, and you may find joy a strange word, but joyful nonetheless, because it's something that grounds us in our faith. Good Friday is just such a critical part of our worship cycle, and whether we're in church, whether we're at home, doesn't really make a difference on that level, because what it does is say that here's an experience that is something that goes back over the centuries. The struggles of the present moment are not different to struggles that have always been part of human life, and God chose to come and be part of that and to interact with that. And to journey with that in Jesus, in his life, and particularly in this Triduum, these 3 days in which we reflect on his time with his disciples at the last dinner, his arrest, his trial, his crucifixion, and ultimately the resurrection. But it's times like this that we need to be anchored. We need to know what it is that holds us. And I think Good Friday is one of those days that for me, certainly as a person of faith, is one of those anchors. And part of it is to reflect and to think around what the cross really means and how it impacts on who we are and the brokenness of the world in which we live and the suffering that is around us. To reflect on how perhaps we don't sufficiently seek healing, but get involved ourselves in all that is breaking in life and relationship. And it's an opportunity to recommit to the goodness of life that God offers us, and to find those places and spaces of hope in which we can find our joy and our love and our peace renewed. And so I don't know where you are, I don't know what you've been up to, but I trust that in the midst of this important day on our faith journey, that you have had some experience of God's presence and have some sense of the relevance of faith in today's world. May today lead into tomorrow, and may tomorrow lead into Sunday, and may we find that renewed strength of life as we share in the celebration and the unexpectedness, perhaps, certainly that the disciples experienced, of resurrection and all that resurrection brings in terms of hope and renewal.